Hakadosh Boker Tov, Shavua Tov, Masechet Nedarim Daf Mem Amud Aleph 48:1. We're going to start on Lametet Amud Bet, the last line. Okay, so the last line on 39b. It says over there, Rabbi Chelbo Chalash. Rabbi Chelbo became sick. Nafak Achriz Rav Kahana, so he went out and Rav Kahana went and he started mentioning Rabbi Chelbo Baish. Rabbi Chelbo is Choleh. So therefore, he's mentioning to everybody, by the way, he's sick, come to visit him. Loika dekati, nobody came to visit him. Amar lehu, so the Chachamim said, Lo kachaya ma'asem tamid echad medaber Rabbi Akiva shechala. Wasn't there a story with one of the students of Rabbi Akiva that he became sick? Velo nichlesu levakero, and they didn't come to visit him. And Nichas Rabbi Akiva levakero, so Rabbi Akiva himself came to visit him. Yeah, and what happened? He started coming. He started coming. He started, brooming the floor, mopping the floor, cleaning up. Chaya, he lived. Amar lo, and he said, Rebbe Achiyatani, you revived me. יצא רבי עקיבא דרש, so Rabbi Akiva came and he made a drasha. כל מי שמבקר חולים, כאילו שופך דמים. If you don't come do ביקור חולים, it's like you're killing the person. So Kiyata Rav Dimi, when Rav Dimi came from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel, Amar, he said, כל המבקר את החולה גורם לו שיחיה. If you visit the sick people, you're causing them to live. וכל שאינו מבקר את החולה, and if you don't visit the sick people, גורם לו שימות, you cause them to die. My grandma, what does it mean? How are you causing him to die because you didn't visit him? If you're going to tell me, when you come to visit the sick person, you ask for mercy that he should live. You pray for them. What? Now, if you don't visit them, you're praying that he should die? Right? So, you really think that that's what's going on? Meaning, I understand. You went to him. The guy's sick. So you start praying. If you don't go, what are you doing? You're praying that the guy should drop dead? No, that's not. It could be that you're just busy. And you can't do it for, you know what? But what happens is that if you don't go to visit him, you don't pray that he should live and you don't pray that he should die. So therefore, the fact that you don't pray that he should live, that's already something that it's like a grama, you're causing him to die. Because that tefillah, if you went, it could have been listened to. Imagine right now you go to visit the sick person, you pray for them. So it could have been listened to. And then what would have happened? They would have actually lived. And the fact that they would have lived, it would have been incredible. Yeah, so it says now, Rava, Yoma Kadma de Chalish, Amar Lehon Litigalu Inche. This is very interesting. Rava, the first day that he was sick, he told his family members, don't say anything to anybody. Right? Because he doesn't want that the mazal should become bad. Meaning, if a person's because she's sick, he doesn't want that they should start doing mishaberachs and everything for him as if that, you know what I'm saying? He's got a little thing, big deal. You know what I'm saying? So, mikam ve'elach, but on the second day, Amar Leon, he would tell them, go mention in the shuk. Dechol desanili, lechtili. Because anybody that hates me will be happy. Right? That when your enemy is falling, don't be happy. Right? So therefore, what happens? So because they're going to be so happy, Hashem will remove his ka'as from me, and then he will remove his sickness from me. You understand what just happened? Basically, one more time. What happened is that the first day, he doesn't want the mazal. After the second day, he already comes and he says, this is what I know. So here he's saying, though, no, here he's saying that it's after the first day. All right. After the first day, he didn't say anything. After the second day, he already said it. But it was interesting. He said why his enemies are going to be happy. And if the enemies are going to be happy, Hashem will remove his kas from him and will cure him just because the enemies are happy about his downfall. That in itself, that's number one. Number two, the ones that love me, then they're going to pray for me.
So I had to say after.
You said about the third day, if I remember, I think it's a Rambam. But here in this Gemara, I think it's a Rambam. But here in the Gemara, it's just saying after the second day, this is what he would do. Here it says it's a brikru talis svatayim, which means that if you're going to come, you're going to say the guy's sick. Even if the guy was just, like a little something, you just made him sick by saying that. You understand, Kilu? You just did it. You just confirmed it. So therefore, that's why they don't say anything. So for the first day, don't say anything. That's for sure, no. The second day, here it says the second day he already said it, but okay, we'll speak about, if we get to the halacha, we'll speak about it. So Amar Rav comes and he says, yeah, if you're going to come and you're going to be Baker al Chole, you're going to be saved from Geinam. שנאמר, it says in the pasuk, Hashem maskil el dal, biyom ra'a yimaleteu Hashem. Fortunate is a person that he's going to be good to the poor person, because the day of bad, of negatives, Hashem will save him. En dal elo chole. Who's dal? A sick person is considered poor. She's the dal. Shneimar, but it says in the pasuk, midala yevatzeni. What does that mean? You come and you say, the pasuk is talking about the tefillah by Chizkiyahu when he was sick. So he's coming and saying, please take me out of my sickness, and he's calling it dala. So if dal, inami or minadenkra, from another pasuk that the pasuk says, madua takacha dal ben amelech baboker baboker. This is talking about now when Amnon wanted Tamar, his sister, that he became sick. So they went and he said, he was bavur Tamar achoto. He went and he said, why are you dal ben amelech every single morning? Ve'en ra'a ela geinam. What is ra'a? Geinam. Shneimar says in pasuk kol pal Hashem lemanel v'gam rasha yom ra'a. Right, the rasha is going to be for the day of the bad. What is that? That's geinam. Fine. Ve'im balevakero.
Dependent of the other.
Okay, so now, okay, you come and you visit a sick person. What's the reward? Mascharo? What do you mean, mascharo? We just said he's going to be safe from Dina Shaginam. What's the reward in this world? Right? Because Dina Shaginam is only in the next world. But there has to be some midah keneged midah in this world as well. Meaning the person, not only you're going to be safe from Ginam, you're going to get something in this world. Hashem yishmereu v'chayeu. That's a beautiful pasuk, yeah. Hashem yishmereu v'chayeu ve'ushar ba'aretz v'al titeneu b'nefesh oivav. Hashem will yishmereu. Yishmereu from what? He'll protect him from the Yetzer Hara. V'chayeu. He'll make him live. From what? Yisurim. Ve'ushar ba'aretz. What does it mean he's going to be fortunate in this land? Shiyu kol mitkabdin bo. Everybody will give him respect. V'al titeneu b'nefesh oivav. What does that mean? He won't be given in the people of his enemies? Shizamnu lo re'im. He'll have a lot of friends. Kinaaman, shripa et zarato, and he won't have friends like Rechovam, shechilku macholto, that they went and they divided his kingdom. Meaning, when you want a friend will strengthen you. If you have a friend keilu, so then they'll come and they'll divide your reign, they'll divide your kingdom. You understand? I mean, that's not a true friend. So he says you should have good friends like Naaman, that they came and they cured him, and not friends like Rechovam, right, that they went and they divided his kingdom. So it just shows you what type of you understand? Fine. Tanya, we learned on the Braita. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar says, Im yomru lecha yeladim beneh v'zekinim setor. If the young people tell you build, and the older people, right, they come and they tell you setor. So the elders tell you destroy. The younger people tell you to build. Shema lezekinim. Listen to the elders. Don't listen to the young ones. Shebinyan yeladim stira, because the building of the children, meaning the younger ones, is considered stira, destruction. Ustirat zekenim, and the destruction of the elders is considered building. Siman ledavar, what is siman? Rechovam and Shlomo. Rechovam, remember, he was the son of Shlomo Melech. David and Shlomo were kings over all of Klal Yisrael, right? Each one for the 40 years. Rechovam, that he was the son of Shlomo Melech, he basically became king. And what happened is that the elders told him, you have to lay off on taxes. You collect too much taxes. And the youngsters said, no, you want to build your kingdom, you have to put a lot of taxes. So the elders were telling them, listen to us. The youngsters are, hey, we're young. These old guys, old geezers, don't know nothing in their life. They're, zikanim, they're from the last generation. What happened? He listened to the Yeladim, and it split the kingdom.
Probably the people they advise to him don't pay full taxes.
Now he comes and he says like this. It says, right, Amar. So what happens? He comes and he says, so what happened was Rechovam, he listened to the youngsters, he made the taxes expensive, and then it divided his kingdom. So when the youngsters tell you something, don't listen to the youngsters, because you have to listen to the elders. So Amar Rav Shisha b'Red Ravidi, he says Rav Shisha b'Red Ravidi, lo lisud inish ketzira. A person should not visit a sick person, right? Interesting why it's lisod. Lisod is usually to eat, but here it's like lismoch, which means like to support him, not to eat, but it's to support him. Right? When a person is sick. Lo bitlat shai kadmaita. Not the first 3 hours in the day. Velo bitlat shai betraita diyome. Not the last 3 hours in the day. You're not going to pray. Why? Because in the morning, it's a new day. When the person is in the morning, they have a new strength. So you come in the morning and they look incredible. You're like, oh, wow, you look good. You're not even going to pray for them. This guy's coming out tomorrow. All of a sudden it comes in the afternoon and boom. You understand? But now when it comes at nighttime, the nighttime is always when a person's sickness becomes worse. Right? That's what we always say. In the morning, it's always chesed. In the nighttime, it's always emunah. You have to have emunah in Hashem. Why? Because at the end of the day, that's when a person all of a sudden gets sicker. In the nighttime, they get sick. And then it becomes worse. Okay? So that's therefore, since he's going to get so worse, you're going to come, you're going to say Kaddish. When are you going to start even praying? Yeah. Yeah, the last 3 hours of the day. So Amar Ravi Namar Rav says Rav. How do we know that Kadosh Baruch Hu comes and he gives parnasa, or he sustains the chole? So he says over here, right? He comes and he says, okay, so here it's saying that the we're talking about the fever of the person is like giving him to eat. So he says, Shneimah, it says the pasuk, Hashem yisadenu aleres devai. Amar Ravi and Amar Rav says Rav Nim Rav. How do we know that the Shekhinah is above the bed of the sick person? Hashem is like supporting him al eres devai, on the bed of his sickness, right? Eres is the bed. Tanya Miyachi, you also learned in the right. When you come in to visit a sick person, don't sit down on the bed, on the bench or on a chair. You sit on the floor, because the Shekhinah is above the bed of the sick person. Says Mitra b'ma'arava sahada rabba pirat. What does that mean? When it starts raining, mitra, right? Matar in Eretz Israel, right, which is on the west of Bavel, obviously. Sahada, so that's a testimony, right? That Rabba Pirat, the Ne'ar Pirat has a lot of waters, and therefore, even though there was no waters in Bavel, right, there was so much waters or whatever it is that came in Eretz Israel, it went down to Ne'ar Pirat. So since it had a lot of waters, that's why. Right, we come and we know that it's raining in Eretz Yisrael. Shmuel argues on this. Shmuel says that the Nahar gets its water from stones. Meaning, when you have a lot of water in the streams, right? It's not because of that it was not because of the rains. It's because of the stones. Meaning that's the streams. They get it from the rocks. This argues on Shmuel. On Shmuel himself also. Shmuel says, main neharot, river waters, do not mean mitaher with zochalim. Okay, ela perat tishri v'yomet tishri bilvad. Only it's talking about, because it's not mema mubet, yeah? Because basically, what are we talking about? The main neharot, remember, the zochalim. What is zochalim? In order for certain people to become pure, they need zochalim. For example, a nida needs to be pured in zochalim. It has to be waters which are zochalim. It cannot just be stam. You can't just go in a pool. You understand? Like there has to be certain, like a stream. So it says here, but why? Because it's not going to be the time of Geshem. So therefore, it's only the time of when in Pirat, in the time of Tishri, it's not the time of rain. So it's only that the snow is just melting. So therefore, we're not thinking about Zochalim. So therefore, since the main Nahar are coming from its Mekor, they could be cured even during the time when it's actually streaming through. But during the rest of the year, it could be that there we're going to suspect that there's going to be more of the Notfim on the Zochalim, right? So therefore, what happens is that it's not going to be good for them to do Tevilah in such a place, in the main Nahar. Okay? Fine. We're on Mema Mubet, 40b. Okay? So the father of Shemuel, he actually made mikvaot for his daughters during the time of Nisan, right? And he didn't let them go to the Nahar. He didn't let them go to the river. Why? Because since it's the end of the time of the rain, and it's the time of the Shlagim, so therefore there's going to be a lot of water which is coming from the sheleg, from the rain, from the snow, and not from the zochalim. Then he used to make machzalaot. Machzalaot is like carpets type of things that they could stand on it during the time of the Tevilah, during the time of Tishri. Why? Because in Tishri, there's no problem of that. Means for sure it's coming from the water. It's not because of the rains or because of the things that it's coming because of the stream in itself. So since it's the end of the summer period, so therefore we know that it's already finished. So therefore there he could do it. But he made machzalaot. What are machzalaot? It's like somebody there's no chatzitza on the bottom. Because if you go inside and there's mud on the floor, So how do you do tevilah? Your feet are already dirty. So he made like carpets, so that way when they were going inside, they were standing on the carpet so their feet don't get dirty from the floor, like the mud floor.
Is it supposed to have a
So Amar Biyami says Rabbi Yami Amar Rav, in the name of Rav. What does it mean in the pasuk when it says V'ata ben Adam aseh lecha kle gola? What does that mean, right? When it says that you are going to be a ben Adam, and you're going to make for yourself kle gola. Zuner, what does that mean? Because he's talking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu commands Yecheskel HaNavi to make kelim which are needed for somebody that's going to be sent into Galut. So he comes and he tells Zuner ve'ke'ara v'shatiach. He comes and he says, you need a ner, right? You need a ke'ara. Okay, you need a ner, kle gola. What is that? You need a candle. So you could eat, you could see what you're eating and everything at night times, right? You need a plate in order to eat and to drink, and then you need a shatiach. You need like a carpet type of thing. That way you're going to either to sleep on it or to eat on it. Depends on the different explanations here that they bring down. So if that's what you're going to have, okay? Bezrat Hashem, we continue. Bezrat Hashem tomorrow. So these are things that a person always needs: a carpet, a candle, and plates or bowl, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Have a wonderful day.